finding with this work is that it's really important for me to just be open. I intended to bring in some codes because I was holding a particular pen and it felt necessary to bring through the codes that needed to come in. And it felt as if there was a different plan in place because of the light and also some unexpected changes. I can't control anything. But I can control how I view something. This sort of box of memories I was destroying, that was kind of like a joke, right? It's the attachment. It's about the attachment. The attachments to the way you believe things are supposed to go in your life and then don't for whatever reasons. What I have found is that just like this work in remaining open to whatever is going to be coming in and not having any preconceived ideas about what it's supposed to look like has been extremely helpful because then I can allow for the magic to happen. The magic will just come in. So there are some points within this codex that I'm being sort of guided to have more of a directive within the signature of the piece. Okay, so this actually wasn't going for a little bit. Yeah, so it was maybe missed a couple of things, but not really. So I was guided to kind of set things aside for a little bit. The light was not happening, and now I am being redirected again. But there are some particular codes that will need to be hidden and some that are definitely a part of the piece for the client to see ongoing moving forward. To kind of assist them on the timeline of their life. So yeah, so having like parallel lives and being open to clearing and healing what's within this lifetime can help you heal across multiple dimensions of lifetimes. I didn't think that black was going to be part of the palette for this client, but let's see. Don't forget the spiral. So seeing into the spiral of all living forms is a kind of gift that this person has. You just never know when you're introducing more black. So some of these codes are staying. Great. Some of the codes are staying because I wasn't sure about that pen, if I was still going to be able to see the silver, and it does shine through, so that's nice. So it's interesting to have this sort of, not at all what had come through. My guides are right now telling me to stop being so attached to what came through before, which is kind of like the lesson, right? This is a nice, like, brand new squeegee. Not too sure what needs to be happening here other than me completely wiping it clean because I'm not happy with the palette at all. I did ask for my ego to get set aside. That's true. I did. There are different guidance sort of subsets going on right now. I am told to work with a pink paint pen right now. Making it happen. I've been in touch with other light workers around the planet who channel light codes, and they recommend using paint pens, which I'm not super familiar with. As a painter, I kind of abhor things like markers and pens because I love to mix different paints. So it'll be interesting to see what comes through using the paint pen. Pretty certain it's oil-based, so it's gonna work delightfully with the water-based paint. Maybe that's why I was told watercolor earlier. But soul collectives, bartuje kiaba, bojamanigiriataka, boroto bojamargiataka. This is sound. Importance of sound. Understanding frequencies. Understanding your role as a spiritual being. So choosing some of these struggles across many lifetimes in order to level up. Be in your power. This seems to be like a central area in this part. Okay, we're going back to the box. Going back to the box. We're going back to the box. Really? Okay, there was sort of a stair here. There was a bird that just flew by. Came through earlier as I was sort of soaking up some of the paint was that this person has many, 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 many angels on standby, watching over, assisting. And that was my sense when I was working with her previously. This feels very earthen, very attached to these earthly duties. Spending more time with her angelic team is super, super important so that she can bring that in. Yeah. I love when the universe just sort of accentuates what's coming through on the piece. But there are no such things as accidents. There's no such thing as like this random machine going by my window out there, sort of emphasizing something. That's the universe in agreement, saying, yep, I agree. That's what needs to come through here. What I tell my clients when I'm creating these pieces for them is that just the conduit, the way they come through. I don't know why I'm using this as my palette, but hey, I'm rolling with it. Something to do with a rainbow. So ideas about where that was supposed to come through or what that was supposed to look like are now kind of. It was kind of coming across a field, connecting separate realms. What I really need to see is more white. One thing I prefer with painting, something I prefer is to not have any rules. A directive without a directive is still a directive. I wanted to change the palette a little bit. Something that's lighter, not so much contrast, something that's kind of dreamy. This is somebody who's very much in their mind a lot. It's how they roll. It's part of their human design. Okay, so the box still needs to be in here for some reason. And that's not for me to judge. That's for me to let go of. It's kind of like also a familiar place. A familiar area that we return to. Maybe a soul remembrance to a particular area. The table is set. The codes are in here. The codes will continue to be seen. These are parts of the chalice, parts of the spirals, parts of the memories, responsibilities. So this energy comes through like a warm hug. Like a warm hug. These different vortexes. And very, very quickly, because they are thought forms, there are like so many beautiful angels that just want you to shine. They just want you to be happy, and they want you to shine, and they want you to let go and stop taking care of everybody. Stop worrying about everybody. Because as you do that, it's too depleting. Different points of entry. Different spiral points, I guess. Earth, sky, moon. Not what you expect. Bottom line, not what you expect. Bringing things back to the heart. These angelic realms and colors. So working more with the spiral energy. This is a suggestion during the session. Rocks and stones. Nautilus. Yeah, ba, shumaragria takatake, ba, shumparakadoto, tarakatashi managria takati on toto korktaka. Vijimbergria taka, markadosha maragria taka, martosha, hiataka, aratosha. Shima, the so that I see managria taka, yama, shabarakada. So as my ego gets annoyed by all the water, I am reminded that in the beginning of this fun foray into all these things, I'm reminded about advice at the time was for watercolors. We're back to the box. It's okay. We can be in the box because the box is existing within this spiral. As we learn to let go, as we learn to move on, as we learn to shine despite all of the density that we have to deal with in our lives. There's plenty here, and there's plenty that was already below the surface, which I absolutely love. The undersketching, stuff that came through without intention, that just comes through. Just being guided through the process. These are angels spreading their wings. Yeah, so it looks kind of a mess, but I have utter faith in this process because there are things that need to be seen. In specific time. And the contrast isn't always bad. Sometimes the contrast is there so we can learn through it and rise above it. So there it is. For now, anyways. There's like a condor spirit in here. And a way of seeing that is very unique. There's also owl magic in here. And the moon. Dancing in the moon. Okay, beautiful. Love ya. Bye. So this is the work in progress. What came through is Condor spirit and dancing in the moon. So not what I visualized, not what was in my mind earlier. However, this is what came through. It's a work in progress, though. It's not complete. There's a lot to look at, though. There's a lot to see at this point. Bezeberia para dos jamariria taka. Bikia kakakia kuto. Ora kitataka.